You ask for new blood in the smack off, and randoms come in and they call Caleb fat. They say Rick is bald and that Brad has a small bird. They think it's straight freaking fire, only to fade into oblivion after they hang up. He's right. SoCal Jeff, he's right. Romy. Whoa. Oh, Ryan, my boy.
Johnny boy in New York.
Ryan, my boy. Regards Rome whenever he sees Ryan in Sucktown on the call screen. From Geoff and Lincoln, man, you know it's bad when Geoff is doing you like that, Ryan.
Johnny.
Rhino.
Johnny boy.
He's still on hold, by the way. Let's go to the phones. V in the fee. I don't know what V is short for, but fee is short for Menifee. V, you made it in, dude. What's going on?
Rome Town Buffet, my brother. What a weekend. Your Warriors, Jim, versus my Lakers. I could talk about that. I could talk about Ja Moron shooting his team out of the game and his take of I'm finding the West aging worse than the diarrhea that's left on the lawn of the Boston Marathon. Or I could talk about Dylan Bitch, Dylan Bricks, Dylan Brooks, getting that 40-piece dropped on his head. Or maybe I should talk about the Sacramento Queens and the face of their fan base, Ryan and Blue Sacktown. Where you been, my boy? You guys were lining the beam, tipping cows, looting farmhouses, flipping tractors when you guys were up 2-0, starting a riot in your city, and you guys have been dead quiet ever since. Oh, my goodness. Instead of lighting the beam, now they're leaving bouquets of tumbleweeds in front of the Golden One Center. R.I.P. to the Kings season, their best season in 17 years, and you blow a 2-0 lead. Even Ian Poulter thought you blew that pretty quick. But no, I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is the most important thing that happened at the Lakers game on Friday night. Our guy, Jack Nicholson, came back and returned, and man, did he get fat. Let's talk about his bucket list. It's been buckets of chicken, buckets of ice cream, and buckets of donuts. I mean, I was sitting by him, and I asked him, hey, Jack, do you want this fruit? And he said, fruit? I can't handle the fruit. And he took a donut and shoved it out of his face. V in the fee, out.
I'm telling you, V. Like every 10th call, he shows up like that. And it's not really funny, but I'm laughing really hard, and I'm not sure why. V is a watch lister. And after that phone call, he's still on the watch list. Not enough to get that golden ticket yet, my guy. Keep shooting. V does make it better, and sometimes he makes it much worse. But that dude was saving up all weekend. That to V right there is a smack-off call. That's his smack-off call, which is why he's still on the watch list. But you made me laugh, my guy. You did make me laugh. And you know what, Alvin? Go ahead and rack him. For the ones who get it done, Grainger is offering supplies and solutions to every industry, as well as access to product experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call or click Grainger.com or stop on by. My thanks to Tom Telesco, Ross Tucker, the XR4 Ti. Have a tremendous Monday. See you tomorrow. We're out. It's Clean Car Month right now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. Their professional parts people can help you choose the cleaning supplies that you need for your vehicle. Finish any great detail job with superior coverall tire shine right now. Get 2 bottles for only $18. See store for details. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com. Get the parts and service you need quickly from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you missed the Brian Bailey Show, you missed.
Jeff Palumbo, the associate head coach under Cliff Godwin.
Literally immediately after the game, those guys from the umpire locker room are requesting their TrackMan data to see how they did or didn't do. So the zones tend to be a little bit more true to the actual plate. You're not getting two balls off, and obviously every now and then you're getting umpires that's just kind of what they feel like their zone is. But by and large, they're getting evaluated. There's data now to show what is right and what is wrong. And so that tends to kind of bring them in a little bit and tighten up the zones.
Tune in Mondays at noon for the Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, right here on Pirate Radio.
Welcome to Russell's Spring Style. Our screen door says welcome to a beautiful selection of new apparel for men and women. The spring colors are bold and beautiful. Men, make your next suit or sport coat purchase easy with in-house alterations to assure a great fit. Ladies, it's Russell's for the best selection in dresses, tops, and slacks for most any occasion. Russell and Rhonda work hard to make Russell's in downtown Washington your shopping destination. It's all about you, our friends and customers at Russell's Clothing in downtown Washington.
Hey, John, I see your new system's having issues already.
Yeah, I used the other guy with an AC brand I've never heard of.
You should have used Delcor, John. They install Train. It's hard to stop a train.
I know, but the other guy was cheaper.
Cheaper isn't better, John.
I know.
Don't use the other guy. Call Delcor. For a limited time, buy a new Train system and pay 0% interest for 12 months. Visit Delcor.com for more details. Delcor, the service professionals.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
University PC Care in Greenville and New Bern has been serving the tech repair needs of Eastern North Carolina since 2006. And as one of the only Apple-authorized service providers east of Raleigh, all our technicians are Apple certified, and we only use genuine Apple parts. Your iPhone and Mac warranties are safe with us. Have questions or need service? Call 252-558-1280 or visit us online at universitypccare.com. University PC Care, your one-stop shop for service on everything Apple.
Celebrating a special grad but no time to cook? Why not let Jimmy John's cater your graduation party? Enjoy Jimmy John's famous Mini Jimmys in 12, 18, or 30-piece party packs made to order with fresh-baked bread, hand-sliced meats, and local veggies, and delivered right to you. Whether you have a few guests or a few hundred, Jimmy John's will make your graduation gathering an A-plus event. Jimmy John's, open 7 days a week in Greenville and Wilson. Order now on the Jimmy John's app or online at jimmyjohns.com.
I'm Donald Stocks, owner of Pip Marketing Signs Print. We are your one-stop shop for just about anything printed. If we're not your go-to printer, please give us a call at 355-1636. We have over 80 5-star Google reviews and want you to be our next more than satisfied and well-pleased customer. Check us out at growatpip.com or stop in to see us at 3185 Mosley Drive in Greenville. Pip, where business goes to grow.
Baltimore Orioles baseball.
The 3-1 pitch. Drive, deep left field. Badu going back on the track at the wall. James McCann gives the Orioles their first run of the game as he sends it into the bullpen in left center field. Quality of contact, and he has got 2 home runs. They have both come against the Tigers, and the Orioles are on the board. It's a 3-1 ball game.
Catch all the action right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington.
Can you be quiet, please? Thank you.
Welcome to Pirate Radio Live.
It's me, Nancy Garcia.
Clip. Hey, man, good to see you, brother.
Excitement time.
Clam down. Clam down. Clam down. Clam down.
Pirates are going dancing, baby.
They picked us last. And now we're going dancing. We're going dancing.
How about those friggin' Pirates?
Now live from the Pirate Radio studios in the heart of the Pirate Nation, here is your host, Clip Brock.
All right, welcome in to a Monday edition of Pirate Radio Live. Clip Brock here inside the Pirate Radio studios, coming to you today on Pirate Radio 92.7 FM in Greenville, 104.1 in Washington. You can find us on 1250, 930, online, PR927FM.com. And we are back full speed, better than ever, on Facebook Live and YouTube, thanks to the work of Wes Hines, the Big Dog, University PC Care, Optimum. We've all got our ducks in a row, so we are with you on Facebook Live and YouTube. If you guys would like to chime in on today's program, you can do so there, or Twitter. You got a question for one of our players inside the Delcor Players Lounge, you can ask it, and we will pass that along to Garrett Saylor, Carter Spivey, and Josh Groves, who will join us later on in today's show. Saylor and Spivey coming up at 4 o'clock, Josh Groves at 5 o'clock on the Delcor Players Lounge. So get a question in for those guys. East Carolina coming off a series win over the weekend against the Tulane Green Wave. A lot of baseball on Saturday. We'll recap that throughout today's show. We'll also check in with Double B, Brian Bailey, coming up at 3:25. We got a lot of baseball talk coming up. We've got some football talk for you as well. We'll update you on where all the Pirates signed undrafted free agent deals over the weekend following the NFL draft. And a little basketball news, too, as a couple of commits for Mike Schwartz have become official signings. So a little bit of everything coming up on today's program. We got Shirley Rhodes in Studio B alongside Chandler Honeycutt, the Big Dog, here as well. How we doing today, folks?
What's up, Clipper?
Pretty good.
Good to hear. You asked me what's up?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to be just back going again.
I know. It's
a lot of work, a lot of frustrations.
Yeah, Friday was frustrating for sure in terms of being frustrated, but we are
If
back.
any.
We're back on YouTube. We're back on Facebook Live, so it's great to be back. We're back, baby. Look at us. We're back.
We've already got a lot of folks chiming in as well. And I'll tell you what, we'll start with that. We'll start with you on this Monday and then get to our ECU notes and other news and notes in the sports world. Eric chiming in on YouTube says, everybody loves burgers. That is true, Eric. Everybody does indeed love burgers.
Everybody in the world.
Especially good burgers from Tiebreakers.
Especially Bram Anderson. He really loves burgers.
Pike is tuned in, listening in North Myrtle Beach, and he's already liked the show, so we appreciate that. Our guy, Randolph. Randolph, I ain't seen you in a while.
Man.
Where you been on Wednesday nights, Randolph? Come see us at AJ's.
We miss you.
He says, good afternoon, guys, and Shirley. Hit those likes.
Another interception thrown by Dax. Recovered by the 49ers.
And he also said, glad to see the Pirates on track with 2 wins this weekend. And adds a boom, boom, fellas. Boom, boom.
Bring that back, too.
All right, we've got a comment on YouTube and Facebook regarding the equipment sale.
Uh-oh.
Let's start with Robert on Facebook, who says, Shirley, what grinds your gears more? A family reunion at the equipment sale or vehicle doors open at the drive-thru? I'll hang up and listen to your rant. All right, so what do you got?
Vehicle doors open at the drive-thru, although family reunion, very close second.
There was a family reunion at the equipment sale?
Let's just say that there are some folks that don't know the concept of, if you're going to wait in line, I'm the type of I'm a pretty lenient person. I really am. And I'm pretty patient to a degree. But when you start infringing on that patience, then I'm going to say something. And we had an incident in the equipment line where first of all, I arrived 2.5 hours early.
So you're there at 9:30.
Yes, sir. And I was not the first person in line. There were quite a few people ahead of me. Not too many, but, a few. And I had someone who was ahead of me in line. And after a while, some people came up, but these were youngsters. So I thought, okay, no big deal. It's just a family. And then a third person showed, then a fourth, and a fifth, and a sixth. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
No. And, and I'm not trying to be ugly about it, but here's the rule. The rule is if you get there early enough, then you have solidified your spot in line. Now, this is old hat for me. I bring my chair. I brought a snack.
You're a veteran at the game.
Yes. So I've set up camp. And I was starting to get very irritated to the point where I was just like, this is ridiculous. You can't have a family reunion. This is how it works, folks. If one person is in line and that person's family member shows up, you get, if you're in front of me, you get a max 3.
All right.
And that has to include a child.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, when you start bringing up friends, brothers,
Adults,
in-laws, third cousins, fourth no. If you can't get there the same time as the person that is in front of me,
back of the line.
Back of the line, folks.
Back of the line.
Because then
Back of the line,
that
pal.
defeats the purpose of getting there 2.5 hours early if people are just going to cut in front of you. And, look, we're all adults here, but that was ridiculous.
Redonkulous.
I just don't have patience for that, especially because, I had a long day ahead of me. The equipment sale was the first thing I had to do that day, but I did get most of what I wanted.
All right, well, this brings us to Jamie's question on YouTube. How'd the equipment sale go? What'd you get?
Ask the guy in the front who just, that was ridiculous. I'm not trying to call people out, but there are some people that are just a tad overzealous.
What did you get?
3 pairs of shoes.
3 pairs of shoes?
Yes, 3 pairs of shoes. Look, for the prices that they were offering, I'm not turning that for a price that I would have paid in a normal shoe store. For 1 pair, I got 3.
Is that one of them right there?
Yep, I got a new pair on right now.
Oh, I saw those.
Fresh out the box.
Yeah.
Fresh out the box. And so I got 3 pairs of shoes. I got a pair of tearaway pants, warm-up pants.
Oh, man, we need those for the watch-along.
2 pairs of women's game shorts. Women's basketball game shorts.
Nice.
I got my goddaughter a softball jersey. I couldn't find her number, but I did find one in her size, so I just grabbed that.
Man, you racked up.
Well, unfortunately, I wanted more, but a lot of it got picked clean before I ever got there. And mind you, I was probably maybe the 10th or 15th person in line.
Maybe we should do like I don't know. It's not fair, but it's kind of fair to everyone. Maybe do an items limit, or what about a time limit?
Items limit, I think, with certain items, yes, because they had 8 football helmets. I know one person in particular ran away with 2, and when I say ran, I literally mean that. I think with certain items there should be a limit, and I think like football helmets, there's no baseball gear. There's usually never baseball gear, but there are certain items I think you should have a limit on. And then there are other items I don't think should have a limit on them. So I don't know how you fix it, but it did become quite a bit of a free for all for a little bit there.
Chad says, "Is this the unwritten rule of waiting in line etiquette?" I would say so. I think 3 people is pretty generous, but anything beyond that is,
it's
too
just
much.
Downright rude, in my opinion. I mean,
especially for the people that have been waiting there for so long.
Yeah, I mean, because then what's the point of going and waiting if you're going to be a placeholder for 8 other people? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me. So, and especially if you're cutting in front of me, that's not going to make me feel very good.
Well, it happens everywhere. Jack said he had the same thing happen in line at the Dogwood Festival.
Oh, well, that doesn't
Farmvillians.
By the way,
doesn't surprise me though. But I will say this: was that Robert Matthews that asked the question?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will say this: Robert was very kind. I had my hands full, and I had gotten into line to pay for my gear. And Robert was extremely kind. He took all of my stuff and held it for me while we stood in line.
That's nice.
So I will give him a big shout out because he was very kind, because I was a little flustered, and he helped me out. So thank you, Robert. I appreciate that very much.
Very cool. Very cool.
By the way, some people might say that I don't know Jack, but I know Jack. I met Jack.
Jack Dover?
Jack Dover.
Oh, okay.
This was Jack Bowen.
Oh.
Jack! That's my brother right there.
But I did meet Jack Dover finally.
The real Jack Dover?
The real Jack Dover.
All right.
And he looked
so he exists.
And I remembered who he was because he's the same guy that shouted me out in line last year.
Oh, okay.
For one of the regional games. But I
that's
did see
cool.
Jack.
Cool.
Neat story.
All right. Jamie says, Chandler, you only have money for one. Are you choosing a new Bryce Young jersey or an equipment sale item? That's a good question.
See, I'm not a big jersey guy.
Mm-hmm.
I only have one jersey, and that's Luke
Kuechly.
And my thing about jerseys is that I'm afraid that people are going to go to a different team. So the thing about the Luke Kuechly one was given to me.
Smart.
And he's always been a Panther. So.
That is my advice to people who want to be jersey guys. I know you want to wear the hot new player's jersey, but best thing to do, get a guy that's already retired from your team.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never have to worry about him playing for another team.
I would probably go equipment sale to answer the question. I might want to get like a football helmet or something.
Not a jersey guy, but you're a helmet guy. Are you going to wear the helmet around?
No,
you can wear it to football games.
It's a good, yeah.
When you're doing your TikToks in the stands, celebrating.
Dancing, looking like a fool.
Looking like a broke down Jake Hunter. Which is my favorite new ECU baseball tradition.
Yes. And I love when he's in the bullpen and he has to sprint all the way down and then dance.
It's awesome. He did it twice at the game I was at late Saturday, where the Pirates won the series finale by hitting a lot of home runs in that game. Finally got the bats going. East Carolina took 2 of 3 from Tulane over the weekend to run their record to 31-13, 9-6 in conference, and that home record moves to 26-3 on the year. Just incredible. Lost their third home game on Saturday, but were able to win 2 this weekend. One in dramatic come-from-behind fashion that was played on Friday night and Saturday afternoon. And then they won another one in the nightcap. We'll be talking to Garrett Saylor, Carter Spivey, and Josh Groves coming up later on in today's show on the Delcor Players Lounge. All right, polls. You know, this is 2 weeks in a row where East Carolina did not have a winning week. They had a losing week the previous week and a 500 week this week. But the polls kind of stay pat. East Carolina is 14 in the D1 poll. East Carolina is 13 in the Baseball America poll. We'll talk some baseball with Mully coming up on Tuesday, and we were talking RPI yesterday. And I don't know, you folks can give your opinion on it. From a not on the field thing, from a numbers, from a computer standpoint, what is more important right now as far as numbers to look at for East Carolina when it comes to getting a top 16, maybe still winning enough to get a top 8 like they did last year, but for East Carolina to host a regional, what number are you following closer? And maybe you're not following it at all. You just want to see them win on the field and don't care about the rankings and polls like the players. But it's something for us to talk about. I enjoy looking at polls. It's not the end-all, be-all. But are you looking at the polls or are you looking at RPI? Because RPI, I think, has East Carolina in the upper 20s right now, while the polls have East Carolina in the teens and in that top 16. So what in your opinion, what is more important right now? Let us know what you're looking at when it comes to ECU baseball and how you are feeling at this point in the season. All right, Jamie says, Hoove made SportsCenter. Did he? Man, I wish I could. I don't want to see it. I wish I could hear it, though.
All right, college baseball, Tulane, East Carolina, and Brennan Lambert flies one to left field. Lane Hoover comes from center. Wow.
Oh, hey.
Wow. 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 Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. Yes, Lane. Yes.
King Slay.
Slay King.
It's like they saw that clip for the very first time.
Yeah. Like, all right, what do we got here? Baseball highlight. Lil Lane.
What a
dude,
catch, man.
That dude had some hops. Like, he got up there.
The biggest, all right, the catch was crazy, of course, but the ground he had to cover to get there.
Yeah.
Was unbelievable. He got that, people, like, he was in center field.
So
And had
who was
so-
playing left at that moment?
That was Luke Nowak.
Okay, so Luke Nowak, who is known for his speed, ranges over, and I'm thinking, okay, well, he's trying to gauge the ball. And at first, you see when the camera shot is following the ball, you don't see Lane Hoover, and all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere.
You know what it looked like?
What did it look like?
Amax home run against Texas, where
Bounced out of the glove.
yeah, the two outfielders kind of converged on one another.
Oh yeah.
And no, because you're right, Shirley. Nowak was going towards it. Lane flies in late, and they're kind of coming together. But I guess center fielder has priority, has the call. Lane must have called him off and makes the play.
And
we need to ask him next week if he called him off.
Yeah. Was there any communication going on?
And we've seen his hops, not during the game, but post game when he does the jungle jumps when the guys in left field with the megaphones, like he gets up there. And we saw that yesterday during that play. I mean, Lane Hoover has got white men can jump. And that white man is Lane Hoover.
Jamie says, is he the shortest on the team? If he's the shortest on the team, he's the shortest adult in Greenville. Oh, I got Shirley choked up on that one.
Sorry.
I don't know.
I mean, he's literally scared to go to Walton Academy. Walk in there.
Chandler,
get in class, kid.
Chandler met the Hoovers this weekend. I was walking out of the game on Saturday, and once again I heard Clippo the Hippo, and it was Lane Hoover's dad.
Denny.
Thanks, Mr. Hoove. He is a short fella, but makes up for it in ups, heart, grit, determination,
athleticism,
want to, all the above. Fantastic catch. How many robbed dingers is that for ECU this year? At least 3.
JJC had one in Houston. I believe it was JC. Lane had his this weekend.
I want to say
Carter Cunningham. There was 2 in one inning.
Right, yeah.
Carter Cunningham had one in right field, which was about like the one yesterday. He had to reach over the fence and get the ball. And then it was Riley Johnson. Riley Johnson made a crazy catch because he got hurt in the process.
I think we have at least 4 that East Carolina has brought back into the yard, which will make the pitchers very happy. And we'll talk to those guys coming up later in the show about the amazing amount of robbed home runs this year.
And that's at least Lane's second because he had one in center field too. I want to say he had his the same inning as Carter Cunningham had his. I could be wrong. But I do remember the one that Riley Johnson made in center field. He got hurt, unfortunately, but it was a crazy catch.
All right, Johnny says, I felt like in the second Tulane game, the PA announcer came out flat and set the tone for the Pirate batters. Now, I don't know.
The Johnny Stats?
Yeah. I'm not sure if he's trying to insult me. I did the third game, but it was the second full game. I wasn't at that game where East Carolina got shut out.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, I did the last one, the win, buddy. All I do is win, no matter what. I set the tone when I came in. I did let people down on late Saturday night on our 10th strikeout.
No chicken leg. You didn't say it, did you?
Well, I said it. I read the script, but I didn't go crazy with it.
Man. Have you been told to stop?
No, it was the third out of the inning. And it was going into the bottom of the 7th, which is take me out of the ball game, Hampton Farms, peanut toss, 7th inning stretch, winner read. So I had to do a lot of reading that half inning. So I was like, man, I guess I just need to go ahead and get right to it.
How do you usually do it? It's chicken leg time.
My plan this time was, why did the Pirate cross the road? To get a free chicken leg from fill in the blank of the place. All right, let's see. Is this? Oh, okay. This is a potential guest coming up this week on the show. By the way, let's talk football real quick. I believe we're going to get Noah Henderson on the show at some point this week because he just got back with me. Ryan Jones will join us coming up on Tuesday's Pirate Radio Live. We'll talk to him as the former ECU tight end signed a free agent deal, undrafted free agent deal with the Giants. Noah Henderson with Bills Mafia. Keaton Mitchell, undrafted, but signs a free agent deal with the Baltimore Ravens. And then you can't write this. Holton Ahlers and C.J. Johnson, tied at the hip forever, go from Conley to East Carolina to Seattle, as they both signed free agent deals with the Seattle Seahawks. That is a cool, neat story.
It's like part of the deal. If one of them signs a deal, it's like, all right, Holton's got to come with you. Or if it's Holton, he's like, all right, CJ's got to come with you. So they just can't get away from each other. What about a story about two guys that had successful careers at D.H. Conley here locally in Greenville, at East Carolina, and now they have a chance to make some noise in the NFL on the same team.
So I was talking to some gentlemen about this yesterday. It was the last time two guys played on the same high school, college, and pro team, and something clicked in my brain like I've seen this before, and I Googled it up to make sure, and I did find it. So one other case of this happening, it might be more than just one, but O.J. Simpson and Bronco driver Al Cowlings were high school, college, and pro teammates.
Al Cowlings had O.J.'s back through and through the whole time.
AC. Just passing along facts, folks. Passing along the facts. Does CJ or Holton drive a Bronco? Just curious. If so, sell it and get a new vehicle, because I don't like the parallels here. But just found that interesting. OJ and AC. That's it. What'd you think of no Pirates getting drafted? Everybody was wrong last week when we did when I asked my over/under 1.5.
I mean, I was sitting there Saturday. I was sitting there glued to the TV or to my laptop, just knowing that Keaton Mitchell's name was going to be up there. Because I remember thinking to myself, all right, he's got to be coming up soon, because Keaton's not the biggest guy, but Deuce Vaughn from Kansas State, who's like 5'5", 5'6", got drafted to the Dallas Cowboys. So I was like, maybe they can start the trend of small running backs. Maybe we could see Keaton's name here soon, and we never did. So that was very surprising. And you were naming off some of the guys that signed. There was a name that you didn't mention. So that he still hasn't got signed.
Isaiah Winstead.
And I do believe that one of these teams in the NFL is going to come to their senses, and they're going to sign Isaiah Winstead, and he's going to do all he can to make a roster. But he posted some videos over the weekend of him in practice, and my gosh, I mean, we don't need to see it.
I just don't get it. I don't know, man. I don't understand why he hadn't given. I understand the 40 time is not what teams want, but turn on the film, watch him. Just a very talented receiver and an extremely hard worker. And I did text with him a little bit yesterday and told him that we're pulling for him. And he said, hey, it's all part of the plan. He's never been given anything, and he's going to keep on fighting.
That was the thing that I said this last week. I was talking to somebody, and I said, for all the NFL teams that think that whatever Isaiah lacks in talent, from a talent standpoint, whatever they think is what he lacks, for them to put him on their roster, he certainly makes up for it with his work ethic. That dude works really, really hard at his craft. I remember one time you were talking with him in the Players Lounge during football season. You asked him, what would you want to do if you couldn't go and play in the NFL? And he said, well, that's not an option. That's all he wants to do is play in the NFL. And, I would think that somebody in the NFL, some NFL team wants a player like that, just if nothing else, because it provides an example of what you should be like, for a guy that wants to play in the NFL.
I wonder, I'm interested to see what his next move is. Maybe he lands in another league. Maybe he keeps trying to get his name out there to NFL teams, but we'll see. And again, I was in contact with him. He's got his head high, and he's going to try to make it.
Well, good for him. And there's plenty of other options. The CFL, you've got, of course, the XFL, USFL. Am I missing any? I don't think I'm missing any. But either way, the bottom line is somebody is going to wise up and pick him up, and they're going to be glad that they did.
All right, so there is that. Also mentioned that there are some official word now on the new basketball players that committed, and we talked about Cam Hayes, the transfer from LSU, and Callum Richard, high school big man, have officially signed. So they will be members of the East Carolina basketball team with the upcoming 23-24 season. So more good news there. Michael Schwartz getting some more Pirates on the boat for the upcoming baseball season and later on this calendar year. So there you go. All right. Anything else before we take our first break?
No, but you saying in the boat, get more Pirates in the boat, took me back to Scotty Montgomery days.
We got one in the boat.
In the boat.
In the boat.
Those signing day videos were the best.
Hey, Scotty Montgomery brought in some good talent here to East Carolina.
He did. He sure did. I remember one of those guys that he announced in one of those videos was Kendall Futrell.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up being pretty good for us.
I like Kendall Futrell. Let's take a break. We'll come back when we return. BB, Brian Bailey joins us. We'll talk everything we just talked about and more with Brian Bailey. A lot of ECU football news and notes. Nashad Strother hitting the transfer portal, so an opening on the offensive line for East Carolina they need to address. Some chatter of maybe tampering against some players going on that I was seeing on the message boards. So the wild world of college athletics rolls on. We'll talk about it with BB when we return. Pirate Radio Live on a Monday. Back with you after this.
Never seems enough for you. You don't want to lose it again. But I'm not like them. Baby, when you finally get to love somebody, guess what? It's gonna be me.
And then it was Tuesday.
We're here for the booty.
Party?
Pirate Water is here. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find Pirate Water in a location near you.
We're going plankton!
Pirate Water is here. 21 and older, please drink responsibly.
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like our fresh, never frozen dough made from 6 simple ingredients. And our dough can save you dough. Get 2 or more Papa Pairings favorites for just $6.99 each. Order now on the app from Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, Papa John's is the MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Go Pirates.
This is Martin Truex Jr., and as a NASCAR Cup Series champion, I love one-stop shopping. When I need fresh tires or fuel during a race, my pit crew takes care of everything. Off the track, I have an Auto Owners independent agent. They handle all my insurance in one place: car, home, life, and business. Get your own pit crew and find a local agency with Auto Owners Insurance.
This is Jeff Gibson with Town Insurance in Greenville. Call me today at 756-8300. Go Pirates!
Your vehicle is a big part of your life. That's why you should trust the team at Greenville Auto World for all your vehicle needs. Greenville Auto World believes in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right. Visit GreenvilleAutoWorld.net to see their fully stocked inventory of SUVs, trucks, and cars. Need a lift kit, custom rims, or wheels? Greenville Auto World can upgrade your vehicle today. For sales or service, visit Greenville Auto World on Highway 43 in Greenville.
Come pop a top at Jarvis Street Bottle Shop. Jarvis Street Bottle Shop is a specialty shop selling craft, domestic, and import brews, along with wine and growlers. Hosting a tailgate? Stop by the shop and grab a keg for your party or event. The Bottle Shop offers monthly beer and wine tastings featuring rotating NC craft breweries, along with live music and discounts. Stop by the shop Tuesday through Sunday, or check them out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.
It's time to save big and save now during Bostic Sugg Furniture's Memorial Day markdowns. Beautiful furniture for your home with Memorial Day markdowns you have to see to believe. Plus 6 months special financing. Save up to 70% off clearance items. Plus take an additional 25% off accessories. This is a must-shop event with incredible savings store-wide. Start sleeping better and save on a new mattress with up to 48 months special financing now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
The convenience of Pitt Greenville Airport is waiting just outside your front door. Service is back, so you're connected to destinations worldwide through flights from American Airlines. Plan your next trip. Book your flights today at flypgv.com or aa.com.
Avoid the long check-in lines and congestion at the big airports and fly local at PGV. Fast, convenient, and close to home, PGV has American Airline flights perfect for your next trip. Book today at aa.com. PGV, where the pirates fly.
Chico's Mexican Restaurant is where the fiesta never ends. Grab your amigos and head to Chico's every Wednesday for shrimp tacos for only $9.99. Plus Wednesdays means all Mexican imports for just $2.99. Thursdays, enjoy your favorite beef, chicken, or vegetable fajitas for only $9.99. For Mexican food and fun, it's got to be Chico's Mexican Restaurant in downtown Greenville and online at chicosrestaurant.com. Chico's, where the fiesta never ends.
This is Big John Williams, strength and conditioning coach for East Carolina football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to Hour 1 of Pirate Radio Live. This hour is brought to you by Pirate Water. Get ready to party, pirates. Go to drinkpiratewater.com to find your new treasure. 21 and older only. Pirate Water. Why be yourself when you can be a pirate? Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. Order Jersey Mike's subs on the mobile app and get delivery right to your home, or you can save time and order ahead to skip the line and pick up your order from your nearest Jersey Mike's sub location. Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Now let's head back into PRL. Here's Clip.
All right, Braves and Mets are playing a slow pitch softball game at Citi Field. It is 9-7.
Did you see Ronald Acuna's home run?
I did.
Upper deck, third row.
Third deck,
front row.
And some dude was chilling up there in the cheap seats.
Yeah, wound up with the ball.
Balls hit right to him. Good for him. But it is 9-7, and the Mets are threatening 2 on with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning on the Buccaneer Music Hall scoreboard presented by DeBuck. Heard Chan Man hit up DeBuck this weekend.
Yes, sir. Jake Sutton was burning the house down.
What
Saturday
kind of
night.
tunes was he playing out of his guitar?
He was strumming some country.
Well, the Guitar Man.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Does he have his own tunes, or was he playing classic country hits?
He plays a little bit of everything. He plays his own originals too. So, but it was a great time as always at the Buck.
The Buck, good stuff. Let's head out to the Pirate Radio Live line and talk to Double B Brian Bailey, who joins us here on the program. BB, how you doing today, sir?
Not too bad. How are you guys?
Hey, we're doing good because we got our technical issues fixed.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Just in time for the varsity.
Your show is kind of like a test run for us, Bailey. We work out all the kinks.
That's what I was thinking.
But
game.
The reason is you are such a professional. You can work with anything. I need it just right for me. So it really is a compliment to you.
Well, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. It was fun.
Great show earlier today with Jeff Palumbo. If you missed it, you can check it out when it re-airs at 6 o'clock, or you can hear it right now on Facebook and YouTube, and also available in podcast form. And the Pirates coming off a weird one, Bailey. It had a regional feel to it just because of the long day on Saturday and the weather. But, man, the first ever triple header at Clark LeClaire on Saturday.
Yeah, that was crazy. And that was, I really found it interesting to talk to Coach Palumbo to find out some of the, the ins and outs of what happens in a situation like that. As he was saying on the show that, his wife had texted him and said, hey, everybody's saying, during the rain delay that the game's over. We won't play anymore, and this is a loss. And he said, no, that's not the case. It'll be suspended. And, and I was kind of wondering the same thing, how they handled that. So they suspended the game. But then I wasn't sure they could play all that baseball in one day if the conference would allow them to do that. But they did, and they got it in. And besides the fact that they didn't do anything against the pitcher in Game 2, they had a pretty good day.
That they did. Bats came alive in Game 3 of the series, Bailey, the long ball. And heard you talking about it. Josh Moylan's home run to center field, a mammoth shot. And we saw Jacob Starling go deep. Jacob Jenkins Cowart hit one. a moonshot, and everybody got into it in that 8-6 win on Saturday night. But East Carolina, boy, they needed it. A great comeback to win that first game. As you said, shut out in game 2. And now they've got North Carolina and kind of crazy, Bailey, going for the season sweep over the Tar Heels. If they can get this one coming up on Wednesday, it'll be a 5 o'clock first pitch, ESPN Plus in Greenville, North Carolina at Clark LeClaire. So big one coming up. Without Trey Savage, East Carolina went with Zach Root to finish out the pitching rotation for the series against Tulane. Now, you don't play Sunday and you don't play Tuesday, so maybe you get some extra rest for guys like Root and Hunter, but you got to think those guys, Saylor, it's going to be interesting to see what East Carolina does pitching-wise now with a man down in the starting rotation in Savage.
Yeah, and what Palumbo said today, he didn't say he was definitely coming back right away, but it sounds like that Savage is trending toward getting back in the rotation, which would be good news for East Carolina, obviously, but that would be on the weekend. They've got plenty of options coming up for the Carolina game, so it'll be interesting to see who they decide to throw there. Maybe one of those Johnny Holstaff type games, and we'll see what happens from there. But still, you expect a huge crowd, even though it's a 5 o'clock start. You expect a really nice crowd coming up on Wednesday.
No doubt about that. And I was talking to some guys yesterday. I didn't realize this, but North Carolina, let's see, they do not play this weekend, Bailey, due to, I guess, exams. So I assume we might see some of their weekend guys throw a little bit. And, maybe they do play on Tuesday, but maybe we'll see some of their weekend guys since they get a little extra rest.
Yeah, what do they got? They got Campbell on Tuesday.
They got Campbell Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah. That's a difficult assignment there. Then they got East Carolina after that. So you might see some of those guys. They may use them in the roles of they usually throw a bullpen. If it's their bullpen day, maybe put them out there for an inning or two, depending on how many pitches they throw and that kind of thing. It's kind of a weird science, though, because they don't want to get them off track for the weekends. But, as you said, they don't have a weekend series this weekend because of exams.
Bailey, from a number standpoint right now, as we sit here this part of the season, East Carolina looking right now at a record of 31-13. They are 9-6 in conference play. The RPI is sitting in the high 20s, I believe, and in the rankings, they're still top 16. They're 13 and 14 in the polls. So what numbers are you looking at, if any of them, right now when it comes to hosting a regional, trying to make sure you're a top 16, potentially going on a win streak, trying to get in the top 8? Is it RPI? Is it rankings? What are the most important numbers in your opinion right now?
I think RPI has a whole lot to do with it. The problem with the RPI is that the Americans not having a great year as far as their RPI, as far as the league goes. So your RPI numbers are going to increase if you can beat a North Carolina, if you can beat an Old Dominion, if you can beat a Campbell. Those are the 3 left on the schedule for non-conference games, and then you've got the 3 series coming up. So I think they just got to go back to playing Pirate baseball. I think we saw some. We've seen it's been kind of a bumpy ride. They had the 9-game winning streak and the 4-game losing streak, and then you've seen some flaws in the armor, but I still think they have a very good team, quality team. And as I talked to Coach Palumbo again, it's almost like we're all spoiled about hosting regionals. Teams just don't host regionals every year like East Carolina seems to, and they're still right on target to possibly do it again. But there's no shame in going to the NCAA tournament as a 2 seed. And, they knocked off Virginia the one year, and they were a 3 seed in that tournament, I believe. Bryant was the 2, and they ended up going all the way and coming so close to Omaha with that team. So, I think there's still a lot of baseball to be played. If they play Pirate baseball, stick to what they know, how to play and how to do it, and it just depends on, how everything falls out later on. But I really... Yeah, this team shows some just signs of true brilliance with some of the defensive plays and some of the pitch. The pitching's had a little bumpy ride of late, but they had a great start to the conference schedule. And when I look at the conference, you're telling me that Tulane is 13-31?
Right.
I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought they looked like a team that could certainly compete for the league championship, but and Palumbo was saying that that they've gone on the road and traveled a lot and taken their lumps early. But I think they're going to knock off some teams down the stretch in their last 3 series as well.
Yeah, AAC tournament going to be up for grabs, and East Carolina obviously in a great spot to make it as an at-large this year. But for the other teams, they're going to be fighting for their postseason lives. So that's going to be an interesting one down in Clearwater this year, Bailey.
It certainly will, and that, like you said, it looks like it's going to be a one bid league unless somebody pulls an upset and East Carolina gets in with whoever the American champion is if they pull that upset. So yeah, it's really a wild baseball season, and it's so funny because you think when you're in February, you think 56 games, man, that's a long season, and all of a sudden now we're in May 1st. You can see the end's coming up pretty quickly.
Brian Bailey joining us. Bailey, you owe me 100 fake Pirate Radio bucks because you lost your bet last week. I
thought about it. The whole time I was watching the draft, I was thinking about the over-under you gave me was 1.5, and I just thought, well, I really thought Keaton had the best chance, and I really thought Holton was up there. And I even thought that there's a possibility one of these other guys, somebody may take a chance on somebody else. But, I'd heard Ryan Jones might get a chance and get drafted. But luckily they're all, signed free agent deals. But to have, be completely shut out. But glad for Holton. Had a chance to talk to him today. That's at the first part of our show that's going to be replayed tonight at 6 o'clock. But glad to see he's fired up and happy and ready to go to Seattle. And it's a great opportunity for him. I mean, right now there's just 3 quarterbacks in that program, in that team. And see what he can do, and I think if that's the case, he'll get to play a lot in the preseason.
Well, I'd like to take a little bit of credit for this, Bailey. Last week, Marcus Crandall and I talked to Kerry Joseph, who is the assistant quarterbacks coach with the Seahawks, and I asked Kerry Joseph what he knew about Holton Ahlers, and said, he knows the name. He said he was on a memo to check this quarterback out, which I'm sure there's 300 quarterbacks on that list or whatever. But check this guy out, just in case we add him to the roster. And sure enough, a few days later, it is the Seahawks that do come a-calling for Holton Ahlers. So I just found that interesting. Obviously, I was joking about the credit thing, but Marcus Crandall and I did talk to their assistant quarterbacks coach about Holton Ahlers just last Thursday on the show. And I think I heard you, overheard you talking about this, Bailey, as far as Holton goes, and we'll hopefully talk to Holton this week and Morgan later this week. But was Seattle in the cards, heading into the draft? Did he have a lot of talks with the Seahawks?
I'll tell you the exact quote that Holton gave me. I think it's either Holton or Morgan. I talked to both of them today. I can't remember which one said it. But they said of all the NFL teams, if he ranked them of where he thought, based on how many conversations he had with that particular team, that Seattle would be dead last. They didn't talk at all.
I feel like that happens a lot, right, Bailey, where we've asked these guys, who'd you talk to going into it, and they'll always say, well, this team that got me, I didn't even talk to them at all. So that it's weird how it happens that way.
Yeah, it looks like the Chargers might draft Holton at one point, and they went with the quarterback from TCU near the very end of the draft. I think that was the one spot that Holton might have gotten in as far as the draft goes. So that happened, but yeah, it was fascinating that of all the teams, and he talked to a bunch of teams, and it was that part to me was fascinating too. That these guys would text him and call him and talk and this and that. And I guess, in a way, it's good that you can talk to as many teams as possible because, you go to Seattle and say you have a really good preseason, but they decide to do something else quarterback-wise, well, somebody else may pick you up.
Right.
I think that, none of these guys stick, forever with these teams. And so if he goes to the practice squad, other teams can pick him up if they need somebody. So I think you just have to get a chance. You just have to have a chance and go show what you can do. And that's what Holton says he's done all of his life, and he's looking forward to it.
Brian Bailey joining us, his high school and college teammate C.J. Johnson out there as well, Bailey. I mean, can't write this script, although someday somebody might write this script about these guys playing together as kids and now as adults in training camp together with or mini camps with the Seattle Seahawks, rookie camps anyway. But how about C.J. Johnson joining his buddy out there?
Yeah, and that's crazy as well. And you're just glad for these guys to get a chance. But for CJ, it's got to be a comforting factor for both of those guys.
Yeah.
To be so far away from home. And so far, they played football together at Conley. They go up the road 5 miles to play college ball at East Carolina, and now they're going, thousands and thousands of miles away to play pro ball, but they'll have each other to kind of fall back on and see if they can both stick.
BB, we will talk to Ryan Jones coming up Tuesday on the show about signing a deal with the Giants. Noah Henderson will join us on the show coming up on Thursday as he joins Bills Mafia. And I think Noah's the kind of guy that could stick, Bailey. It was great to see him work through his injuries and become a every game reliable player for ECU. He's got the talent. It was just a matter of if his back would hold up and everything. But I think Noah's got a chance to make it.
Yeah, I think so too. He's a great guy. Again, you just like to see these guys get an opportunity, get a chance. If that back can hold up, he certainly has a chance to make that roster.
And then, of course, Keaton Mitchell with the Baltimore Ravens, where you were shocked that he was not drafted. But I don't know. These guys, the numbers say that they won't make it. If you look at undrafted free agents, sure, there's a handful of stories every year, but the numbers are against them, so they're really going to have to shine. Keaton Mitchell is a guy with his speed, Bailey, that could certainly shine amongst others.
Well, I think, when you look at it, these guys have got to shine unless you're a quarterback. If you're a quarterback, it's kind of a numbers game. And if you have 5 quarterbacks in camp, you got to play better than numbers 5 and 4, get yourself in the 3 spot, the 2 spot, go from there. But these other guys, they have to excel on special teams. And you got to think Keaton Mitchell's got a chance for sure to start, to get a chance right away. And start. He may be the guy that has a preseason that just stuns. He's got speed that I don't think people even understand. And I think that once he gets out there and shows them that speed, I think he's got a real shot.
Brian Bailey joining us. Mentioned earlier that Cam Hayes and Callum Richard officially signed with ECU basketball. So the transfer Hayes from LSU, Richard the high school big man. So Mike Schwartz continuing to add talent. And I had a question on YouTube from Eric, and I read a little bit about this, Bailey. Maybe you got more details or info for me. But Eric said, Clip, what are your thoughts on the Minges improvements that were announced at the BOT meeting? He said, are they Section 213 approved? I don't know if they're going to affect Section 213 much. But how about that, Bailey? What do you know what all that entails with basketball?
I had heard that there was going to be some kind of improvements, but that's the most specific that I saw, the same thing you guys saw.
Yeah.
It's really, I remember the last time they put lights on in Minges and they had to adjust them because they were so bright. And in certain spots, guys were, couldn't see. They look up, so they had to adjust them and try to get them, where they were right. But I think the LEDs will really come, move them into the next century kind of thing, and being able to turn them on and off. We remember the night that Bam Adebayo was at the game, and the lights went out. So maybe they won't have that happen again. But, I think that'll be, and teams do all this stuff with the pregame, with the introduction.
Well, how about this year where they had to keep the lights on the second half of the season during intros, Bailey?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons you had to get the new lights in there.
Yeah. All right, Hurricanes moving on to round 2, Bailey. Still don't know their opponent. Got a Game 7 tonight between the Devils and the Rangers, and we'll finally find out the opponent. And I guess, Bailey, will the Canes be playing on Wednesday? Do we know that yet?
I don't think we know that yet. I don't think they've announced that. But the big story is Boston. With all those wins that they, a record-setting season for the Bruins, and they get ousted in the first round in overtime was just crazy that even went to a Game 7. And then the Panthers trailed 3-2 in the third period. They got the equalizer, and then they beat them in overtime. And the Bruins are out. And that's just, if the Canes were healthy, they'd be the odds-on favorites to win the whole thing.
Yeah. But that reminded me last night, Bailey, of USF losing in the women's AAC tournament, and it just opened everything up for all the other teams, including the Hurricanes. And, yes, Game 1 of the series between the Canes and the Rangers or Devils will be on Wednesday. So we'll be watching that one out at Sports Trivia at AJ's. That'll be fun coming up on Wednesday night. Rangers-Devils Game 7 coming up tonight, 8 o'clock on ESPN. All right, BB, good stuff. Did we get everything? How are the Cubs doing this year? Give us a Cubs update.
Well, okay, they got swept this weekend. Bill and I listened to them on the way back from Garner yesterday, and they got beat by the Marlins. They got swept by the Marlins. I think they're 14-13 on the year, but they're still. They got a good group. I like watching them play. I like David Ross as a manager. You didn't even ask me about the Cowboys draft.
All right. Well, quick note: the Cubs. Good news, they play the Nationals tonight. Bad news, they face Mackenzie Gore, who is 3-1 with a 3 ERA this year. So the Eastern North Carolina product is pitching great. He'll face Bailey's Cubbies tonight. All right. Well, tell me, how about them Cowboys? Did they get better?
Well, I think they got better. Now,
I'll tell you, got better. The freaking Eagles, Bailey.
The Eagles got better. Well, everybody was texting me that night because the Cowboys didn't take Nolan Smith, and he just fell into the Eagles' laps.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, Nolan Smith fell a whole lot of slots. It wasn't just Dallas that passed on him. A lot of teams passed on him. But, yeah, the Eagles got better. But they had some questionable picks later on that I didn't understand. But I like the pick that Dallas made first because one thing Dallas could do is rush the quarterback. One thing they couldn't do is stop the run.
Yeah.
Whoever you can put in there to stop the run, and they've signed a couple of guys, and they get Big Mozzie in there. So I hope they have a chance to maybe stop the run. I am confident with Dan Quinn they'll be pretty good defensively. I'm not sure about the rest of that.
Well, just an observation I made. Eagles, Giants, Cowboys all go defense early in the draft, and are teams are they that terrified of Sam Howell and what he can do?
It may be. That's what Ken Wallington always says. So that may be the deal.
Yeah. Oh, may not be. We'll see. Bailey, enjoyed it, man. Have a great week. What you got coming up, WNCT Channel 9? Anything to look forward to?
We got a longer interview with Holton tonight at 5. He kind of talks about a whole lot of different topics, so we're looking forward to that coming up. Pirate baseball, obviously, against North Carolina, 5 o'clock start on Wednesday. I think the lacrosse playoffs start this week. Baseball, the last week of the regular season. So a lot going on.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, BB. Enjoyed it, man.
All right, buddy. All right.
Brian Bailey joining us on Pirate Radio Live. We'll take a break, come back. You're ready to wrap up hour number 1. Got the Players Lounge coming up, presented by Delcor in hour 2 and hour 3 of today's show. We'll welcome in Garrett Saylor and Carter Spivey in just a little bit. If you have a question for the guys, you can get them in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you have a question for Josh Groves, Garrett Saylor, or Carter Spivey. Stop the looting, stop the shooting. We'll be back after this.
Did you know that it's illegal to dig without first calling 811? 811 is a free program that locates underground utilities, marking them with flags and paint lines so you know where not to dig. Accidentally digging into utility lines interrupts service and could seriously hurt you or someone else. If you know someone who's planning to dig, encourage them to call 811 at least 3 full working days before they dig. 811 is free, it's safe, and it's the law. This message is brought to you by Greenville Utilities and this station.
Country Mart has been locally owned and operated for over 40 years and is your premier country store serving the best cheese biscuits and country food around. Country Mart is open every day and has 2 locations in Bethel on Highway 11 and in Stokes on Highway 903. Both Country Mart locations are top-of-the-line fuel stations serving Shell gas, including 93 ethanol-free high-octane gas. Country Mart, fueling you up with great food in your engines with great gasoline. Go Pirates!
Here with Jeff Stein at Brown & Wood. Jeff, what can you do for people looking for a new vehicle in 2023?
We can show the people the #1 selling car in the region, the Buick Encore, the Encore GX, the Envision, and the Buick Enclave. We've also got Cadillac dominating the market with the XT4, XT5, and XT6, and we continue to get new GMC Sierra trucks in daily. Please come see us, 329 Southwest Greenville Boulevard. Brown & Wood, 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 rooftops, and 1 goal, to make sure you leave a happy customer.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
With over 30 locations across North Carolina and southeastern Virginia, Quality Equipment is your local John Deere dealer, where you'll find everything you need for your next project. Our complete lineup of John Deere lawn and garden, agricultural, and commercial worksite equipment comes with years of experience, expertise, and dedication. We know what it takes to get it done right. Stop by today or visit us online at qualityequip.com.
Spring is in the air at your CBD store. Make them your go-to shop for all natural sleep, calm, recovery, and wellness products. Their trusted products are award-winning, third-party tested, and only available at your CBD store. Get 15% off any purchase. Just mention the code SPRING. New gifts and accessories are also in stock. Everything from CBD to charcuterie boards. Spring on by to your CBD store today. Open 7 days a week. Call ahead for pickup at 999-5127. Your CBD store, 420 East Arlington Boulevard, beside Jet's Pizza.
This is Talbot Green with Integrity Home Mortgage. Are you ready and pre-approved if the home you want to purchase comes for sale today? Integrity Home Mortgage offers a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans, plus construction and lot loans. Our team of Talbot Green, Braxton Green, and Joanne Weir offers over 50 years of experience.
To get started, call me, Joanne Weir, at 531-1148.
Joanne Weir, in MLS 75974. For informational purposes only, Integrity Home Mortgage Corporation is an equal housing lender in MLS 208516.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles
Radio.
Water. Why be